But that was weird. I don't know why. Did a female voice just say something to you as well?
Yes.
I don't know what just happened,
Whoa,
but
who was that? Who was
I don't
that
know.
female? Who was the
I don't
female
know.
that
I
said
just like
recording in progress?
I
What?
don't know. That was really
What?
weird.
What? Who is that? And it wasn't my wife that said that because that was
No,
like a computer voice.
oh, that's weird. That
Who was
does not happen. That's something
that?
new.
That was new. I mean, did you ever? I've never heard that before, and
No, me neither. I don't know what the
I
I
mean,
don't know where that was coming from.
I don't either. That was weird.
I think we're both literally using the same systems we've been using, so I don't know what changed.
I know I changed my password because my wife was on hers and we were changing it around, changing it, changing it
Round.
around and round and round. So I don't know whether that was something new.
I don't know. That was really
Recording
weird.
in progress. Like, what? Who's saying hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? I don't understand. We're recording a little, but we're really not recording.
No, we're really not recording, and now we're done.
Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 85 of the Sports Blitz. Yes, I said episode number 85. We are back for another episode, and as always, I am Robbie. Doug is joining me as well. Doug, how are you tonight?
Doing good, Robbie. Doing good. We have some things we got to talk about tonight, but doing good. I'm excited about episode number 85. I can't believe it's 85 already, and looking forward to it. And I'm ready to roll.
And if you are, as we always say, if you're under a rock or in a cave, definitely come on out, give us a listen, give us a view. Definitely come on out and enjoy the fact that the world is starting to, it's continuing to start to open up again. So, definitely maybe you want to go.
Everybody's coming out of the cave and out of under the rock.
Yeah, maybe go out to dinner for the first time in 15 months. Just go for a walk. I don't know, do something. Take your mask off.
You know what's interesting, Robbie, is that my whole family now almost all of us are almost a week in. It'll be this weekend. Like Saturday, I'll be a week to my second shot. Sunday will be my wife, and my daughter just got hers over a week and a half ago. So we're at that point now. I walked into the grocery store today. I was wearing a mask because I still think it's important to do that, and they still require it. This is a sign that says it, and it's not a big deal. But I'm walking around and I'm feeling a little bit more confident. I'm feeling like not scared or not afraid. Not that I wasn't before, but you feel very different now that you've had it. I didn't have a terrific reaction to the second shot. It took me a couple days to kind of get back, but and you hear some of the athletes out there saying the same thing, and you and I had talked about it just recently off air, is that Jason Tatum had issues after he had his second shot, had to use a puffer before each game. So
had COVID.
Jason Tatum had COVID. So, but yeah. I think what I'm saying is that it feels so different when you're walking in knowing that you have the vaccine already in you, and you're walking around going, I'm really not afraid anymore. I'm not scared of COVID because now I got the vaccine and that kind of thing. So it just felt really differently. It felt really good. So, just do what you guys need to do. But I just know for us, it was super important, and
Same.
it is what it is.
Yeah, same here, 100%. And as we talked about before, can I encourage people enough to if you have not done so already, get vaccinated. It is very important. But on a lighter note, I did, obviously, we like we do every episode as well, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Simon Organizing. As always, like to give a shout out to them at the beginning of each episode, and big thank you to them for being our inaugural sponsor. And just
checks on the way, Robbie.
What? Checks on the
checks
way.
On the way.
Exactly, yeah. Link is in the description. So definitely give them a look.
Check them out. The great thing about it is that now that and Simon Organizing is all about organization, decluttering, that kind of thing, organizing a closet or something like that. What's great now is that my wife is now is vaccinated, so now she can actually go into homes, and she just went in to somebody's condo just recently in the last couple weeks, and was able to do that and felt really good about it. So we're getting back. So definitely look up that link at the end.
Absolutely. So a lot to talk about tonight. So let's get into it here. And we were going to begin with a team that has punched their ticket to the second round of the NHL playoffs, and that would be the Boston Bruins, who earned their spot in, I guess, what you would call the East Division Finals, after they finished off a 4-1 victory over the Washington Capitals, winning Game 5. I think it was 3-1 was the final in Game 5 in DC. Very, very exciting time to be a Bruins fan, and the Bruins now will be moving on to face the New York Islanders, who wrapped up their series with Pittsburgh last night. That series will begin on Saturday night at TD Garden in front of what they say will be close to capacity for this next round of playoffs at TD Garden. So very, very exciting time for Bruins fans, as more of them will be packing into TD Garden for this next round. But Doug, before we touch on the Islanders part, obviously let's just take a sort of quick look back here at this Capitals series. I know we sort of touched on it a bit last week as well. Obviously, after the first 3 games of the series went to overtime, the Bruins were able to pull out a little bit more handily the last 2 games of the series, Game 4 and Game 5, to take the first round series against the Caps. So I wanted to ask you to start off with is just sort of your reaction to the Bruins after falling, in Game 1, very tough overtime loss in Game 1, bouncing back and basically seizing the momentum and winning 4 games in a row to now find themselves, like I said, moving on in the Eastern Conference playoff, or in the East Division playoffs, I guess I should say.
Yes, you have to say it in the right way, because they're playing some different hockey this year.
Yeah, very different. But,
very different hockey, but that's okay. I'll tell you, after the first game, I saw some fleeting stuff during the first game. I thought, I guess I had kind of conflicting thoughts here and there. The conflicting thought was, oh, geez, here we go. We're going to lose this series. The Capitals are a great team.
Yeah.
They do have their issues. as does every team, including ours. But what do we do after the first game? I was like, okay, well, what do we do to beat these guys? What do we have to do? Well, the simple things is the stuff that you and I have been talking about for weeks. Same exact stuff. We have to make sure that we secure our net. We have to make sure that we don't do giveaways around our net. We have to hit, and we have to play our type of game. And I think we started to do that a little bit. I think in the first game. First game, you saw some fleeting moments there. After that first game, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, now they made some mistakes.
Yeah,
weren't perfect.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect hockey. Wasn't perfect hockey.
Wasn't perfect hobby. Their hobby
Wasn't
was
perfect hoppy. Is what I said. And I'm like, hoppy.
Oh, I thought you said hobby. I thought you said hobbies. So
I believe I used a P in there, and I really don't know why.
I think hobby would make more sense than hoppy.
Hobby would have definitely made more sense, and hoppy, don't know where that came from.
Hopping around.
Right, I guess, and I guess they hop on the ice a little bit, but not really that much. Starting in the next 4 games, I don't really know what it was, except for the fact that number one, we played our game. Number two, we started hitting them. If you notice, the next 3 games, we started to hit hard.
Oh yeah.
Every time they came in, every time we got them in their zone, every time whatever, we started hitting hard. McAvoy especially. I mean, everybody was hitting hard. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we had some takeaways, but we were able to get back. And of course, you got your boy in the net.
Oh yeah,
Who helped out.
Helped
out big time.
Performance by him, huh? I mean,
unbelievable performance.
What a series, yeah.
And now they're still saying that he can't. There's still doubters out there. There's still doubters out there. It drives me crazy.
There's always gonna be doubters. I mean,
there's still doubters. Oh, he's not going to win. He's not going to win. He's not Tim Thomas. Well, of course, he's not Tim Thomas. Nobody's Tim Thomas. Doesn't matter. You have to have that supporting cast, and you have to have somebody that's netminder that's really, really good, that has the experience, and we have it. So the fact is that those are the kinds of things that I saw that just absolutely turned the series around.
Yeah.
The play by our new guys, Taylor Hall.
Oh man, woo, what a performance by him. Talk about bursting
Don Sweeney. Excuse me, Don Sweeney.
Yep,
Don
Sweeney.
Don Sweeney, I'm giving you kudos all over the place.
Applause,
he looks, I mean, even Curtis Lazar came in and he played like he's got his hair on fire. Riley.
Thank you, Mike Riley.
Yeah.
Played well as well.
He did. Everybody played well. There were fleeting moments of times that we didn't, but that's okay. We're going to have that. And if we have that, it's how do we switch it around? How do we make it different? So that's kind of where we're at. I thought it was just tremendous. There was no real turning point for me, except that second game.
I was about to say, when we won that second game in overtime, that's why I think things kind of flipped, and then we kind of seized them on.
Yes.
We won we won game 3 in overtime, and then we again continue to just keep rolling.
But again, we also the Caps made some mistakes.
Yeah,
and we capitalized. Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
No
pun intended, or pun intended. We absolutely capitalized on those mistakes.
Yeah,
and I just thought, you and I were texting back and forth in that last game, we were texting back and forth a little bit, and my personal thoughts is that I got a little nervous because you always get a little nervous, but I was like, they're gonna win this game. They want to win this game.
Yeah.
So it's also, Taylor Hall's in a great place. He wants to be in Boston. It's obvious that he wants to be here. A different attitude. His attitude's totally changed. Those are the kinds of things that are just remarkable. He's playing so well. Krejci's playing well. Marchand is a little gnat, but he's playing well.
How about, and
we
then,
just got to keep him out of the box.
I mean, the captain.
Bergeron.
Oh,
Bergeron. Well, is he 22?
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
That Game 5 performance was something else. I mean, he just dominated. I mean, he
took on the whole team, dude. He took on the whole freaking team. Especially.
And by the way, I will say it was a very nice moment to see, between him and Chara out, sort of in that post game
at the end of the
line after Game 5. You could tell there's a lot of
respect
there, a lot of mutual respect. Absolutely.
I think for everybody.
Yeah.
I think for everybody, and that was really nice to see. I mean,
people were like, "Oh, he snubbed." People were kind of like commentating on his interaction with Tuukka Rask and like trying to build it up into something where I don't really think that there really was anything there. I mean, they shook hands, they spoke for a second or two.
It was not a snub by either guy. Tuukka, I don't know if there's anything there that's negative. I don't think there is. I think this is the way Tuukka does things, and I think that Chara does things in a different way, and I think Tuukka. It's just kind of like Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick sometimes doesn't come out and shake hands because sometimes he doesn't feel like it. If he doesn't feel like it, he just kind of waves. He gives a wave. They shake hands at the beginning of the game.
A very quick, sort of shaking.
They talk at the beginning of the game. That they're out there, and that what they do is they meet and they talk at the beginning of the game. So that's what happens, and then they wave or whatever, or he does a really quick, good game or whatever. So it just depends. As long as his sportsmanship, as long as Tuukka shook his hand, which he did, and said, good game or whatever, I'm good. I don't think there was a snub at all. I think they were trying to find him, but there wasn't.
Yeah, I think people were trying to sort of make a story out of something that didn't need to be. I will say I did get a lot of satisfaction over the fact that we knocked Tom Wilson out of the playoffs. That was a very sweet add-on to the already sweetness of knocking out the Capitals, is the fact that that prick that mean guy Tom Wilson packing for the summer. Kind of funny. I was listening to, they had Chris Wagner on one of the sports stations this afternoon. He sort of detailed some of his in-game interactions with Wilson during the series, and he said during the handshake line, they shook hands. He basically was just like told him to have a good summer. So I mean, it's kind of a pretty fitting close, if you ask me.
I love that.
Which was really great. But have
a good summer.
Have a good summer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're not kidding. But hey, listen, I thought it was a great series win. I thought that they really, like you were saying, really, especially after that first game, the physicality really picked up for them.
Huge. They
really just continued to battle, game in and game out, and really just sort of seized on the momentum once they got it, and really did not let up, which I was very happy to see, from that team, and just very excited they get to move on to the next round, against a team that, they had struggles against earlier in the year, but I felt like at the sort of towards the end of the season, they actually were playing better against this team, kind of at the right time towards the end of the year. And now obviously they get to meet them in the playoffs. And that, of course, is the New York Islanders, who, like I said, wrapped up a series win against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the other East Division semifinal last night. So game one will be coming here to Boston, TD Garden, like I was saying, Saturday night, 8:00. Excuse me. So I guess let's get into this series because there's some things when I look at this series that I really like our chances on, and then there's some other things where I'm like, this could be a tough one. I'm gonna save our sort of official predictions for the end of the segment, but I definitely have already sort of cemented my thoughts on that. But just initial reactions, Doug, to Bruins Islanders East Division Finals.
Yeah, I think it's I think my first impression is I think that I was a little surprised, but not surprised. I would almost rather play the Penguins because their goalie is a sieve. So I guess I'd rather.
As the Islanders showed in their series victory against them.
Yes, I guess that's why I'd rather. I would rather play Pittsburgh, but it's all good. I seriously, and this is just my opinion, I don't think the Islanders are better than the Capitals. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think the Capitals have more threats. I think they have more shooting threats. I think the Islanders obviously are a very good team, and we've had some difficulty with them this year. But I just, my initial thought is that these games are going to be good games. That's my initial thought, is that these are going to be. Talk about physical.
Even better, yeah.
Talk about physical. These games are going to be very physical.
Oh yeah.
And I think it is going to come down to the goalies. Well, obviously it comes down to the goalies all the time. But I really think that it is going to be, if the Bruins come out, and obviously you have a different game plan because it's a different team. But if they play the way they've been playing with that kind of energy, and they've had time, which is really good. They've had days to be able to rest and recover, which I think is super important. They may come out a little dry, and we have to expect that because they haven't played in a little bit. But my personal opinion is that they played the game that they have been playing, and they hit, and they don't have too many, takeaways or giveaways, and Rask plays well. I think it's going to be a good series.
I completely agree with you, and I think two points that you just made. Number one is, I see your point about them coming out dry. My hope is that the even more invigorated TD Garden crowd maybe will help sort of them shave off that dryness very quickly. As they come into game one, because you know that the excitement in that building is going to be palpable come Saturday night. And I think the other thing when I look at this series is the Islanders. The one thing that concerns me about them is that they can score and score quickly. I was watching the game 6 of their Penguin series last night. They get down 3-2. All of a sudden, the blink of an eye, they're up 5-3. I think they scored 3 goals in a matter of like 3 minutes in that game last night. I mean,
Siv.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have the ability to score quickly and score often. And I mean, that is obviously something that the Bruins are going to have to counteract. Now, obviously, Tuukka Rask is not as much of a sieve, I would argue, as the Penguins goaltender. So hopefully he can, come up big like he did in that Capitals series and help keep the Bruins in and help sort of keep the Islanders at bay. The one key that I have for this Bruins team, I mean, you could say this about any team in any series, but I think it was evidenced in the Bruins series against the Capitals that the Bruins got to stay out of the box. You've got to stay out of the box because, like, when they were letting the Capitals on the power play, that put them in some very dangerous situations in some of those games. You got to stay out of the box, cannot take, especially, bad penalties. Like, there were some of those roughing minors and
Marchand sticking the stick in the guy's face. He's going to get called for that.
Gotta stay disciplined.
Gotta stay disciplined about that. Yes.
Gotta keep it 5-on-5, and just gotta play smart hockey out there. If you do that,
I agree with that.
I think you have a really, really good chance. And I think that segues perfectly into our sort of unofficially official predictions for the Bruins Islanders series. I'm going to be very curious to see where we both go here. So I'll start with you, Doug, and sort of give me a prediction, but also give me sort of a reasoning behind said prediction, if you would.
Okay. I think my prediction is I think the Bruins will, I don't think they're definitely not gonna sweep this. It's just not gonna get sweep here. I'm gonna say the Bruins in 6 games. That's what I want to say. The reason I say is because I think that the Bruins are a slightly, if not better. I think the Bruins are a better team. That's just me. That's the first thing. I think the Bruins are a better team. I think they beat the best team in this particular league. So that's my first opinion. I think the Islanders were obviously maybe 3rd or 4th. But what it comes down to is just like you said, playing discipline. Don't let things get to you, especially Marshy. Sometimes he gets angry. When he gets angry, he throws a stick up in somebody's face, and they're going to call that. They're going to call roughly 2 minutes, and 2 minutes could be enough time for them to tie the game or win the game. So you got to be even more disciplined. And my thought is that the reason I say 6 is because I think it's going to be a battle back and forth. I'd be very surprised if one team led over the other, although I will say that the Bruins play like they played the last 2 to 3 games, at least 2 games. I'm not sure how the Islanders win at all. And the reason I say is because they played this close to perfect hockey.
They played lockdown
hockey. That's what it was. Yeah, they made a few mistakes, but they got back in time. By the way, Lozon is skating with the team right now. Looks like he may be ready for game number 1, which is huge deal for us because we don't know if Miller's going to be able to play because of his concussion, but we don't know if that's, they might just keep him out and stick the young kid in because he's pretty much the same stature as Miller, a pretty tough kid. So he is skating with them and it looks like he's going to be ready for game number 1, which is excellent news. That's the other thing that we didn't bring about here, Robbie, and I'm going to bring about it right now.
Sure.
We have a tremendous backup system, and we have guys who are, can come in like a Lozon, like Clifton. Where did he come from? Clifton being knocking shots down with his body. there were two shots that were shot that were the hardest shot. One was by Ovi, I think. And Ovi, that shot's pretty hard. That's got to be close to 100 miles an hour.
An Ovi shot, yeah.
And Clifton just puts his body out there. And I was like, holy. I mean, he did that twice. And so these guys are just stepping it up.
Even Wagner. How about Wagner?
Wagner's been playing
earlier. Yeah, Wagner's
everybody
been playing excellent.
Everybody's been playing really, really well. And Carlo.
Yeah.
I mean, Carlo's taking right over. He's coming right. I think we talked about the fact a long time ago, maybe even when we first started the show. I thought Carlo was going to take over for Big Z. I think he's got the acumen to be able to do it. He's just got to prove it over time.
Right.
But I think he's starting to prove it. He's playing very, very well. He played in the last 10 games of the season. He played well. So yeah. I just think everybody needs, again, to be disciplined. If somebody gets hurt, somebody can go in and they play well. So I think, if they play the way they're supposed to play, that's why I think 6 games. I think that they'll, that they may, and the games are going to be close. It's not going to be any blowouts that I know of. I mean, I'd be a little surprised if there was a blowout. I'm not talking like 6-0 or 4-0 or something like that. I'm talking close games, like we had with the Caps. But that's really why I think it'll go 6 games. Again, you got to be disciplined, play their game, and just play. Get to a position where you're playing exactly like you played last series. You may have to go a little bit more. May have to change some things around, but that's what I'm thinking on that.
Yeah, I mean,
what are your thoughts on that, Rob?
Well, it's almost as if you read my mind, because I'm going Bruins.
I did. Got your brainwaves.
Yeah, I'm going Bruins in 6 as well. I think that they have enough, to be at the end of the day to be better than the Islanders. I think it's going to be a very close, hard fight. Physical, intense series. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, especially whenever you put a Boston and a New York team together in a playoff setting, sparks fly. And that did kind of remind me of the fact that, and I know you and I were texting about this last night at the end of that Penguins Islanders game, how the Islanders fans were chanting, "We want Boston." And it kind of brought me back.
Pretty dumb.
Right, kind of brought me back to
2018
with the Yankee fans.
Yeah, really dumb.
Their wild card
really
game victory chanting, "We want Boston." It's like,
not a good idea.
Did they not learn their lesson?
I didn't.
After 2018, so I just thought that was pretty funny there. But yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. I think B's in 6 as well. And that'll be pretty wild for that would make 2 times in 3 years that the Bruins have advanced to the sort of the Stanley Cup semifinals, so to speak. And again, it's very different this year, with it being divisional.
I know it's strange. I don't like it.
Finals, but
I understand why they did it, but I don't like it. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't.
I think hopefully if Canada teams can actually leave their country in coming years, they will have to do that.
Do we have to play the Canadian teams?
Yeah, well, yeah. In the semifinals or finals, we would have to face them.
Do we have to just have them stay in Canada, play their own Canada Cup thing going on? I mean, they got the Grey Cup, right, for football. I mean, I'm just thinking. I don't know. I just don't like seeing the same team 12 times. It gets a little you get to know the players pretty well.
The Red Sox see the Yankees 18 times a year. We don't see a problem with that.
I know, but you don't play them like every other weekend. You play them in a 4-game series here, and maybe a month later or 3 weeks later you play them again.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, I know.
This was totally different, man. This was like, let's play the Islanders for the 18th time.
Very different. Very odd.
But I do want to tell you. that I was texting with my buddy in New York, my buddy Jeff in New
Oh,
York.
you mean the fan of the Rangers who suck? Yes.
Yes. So I want to tell you. So I was going back and forth with him, and I just want to tell you that because the Rangers are out of it, and he can't stand the Islanders. Not an Islanders fan at all. He's when you're a Rangers fan, you don't even think about being an Islanders fan. Just don't. Islanders fans are not Rangers fans. So it's like the Mets and the Yankees. It's just you don't mix them. Although they're obviously the Mets and the Yankees are in two different divisions, but you don't mix them. You're either a Mets fan or a Yankees fan. You can't be both. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
So Rangers and Islanders, same thing. So he told me on a text that he is rooting for the Bruins.
Ugh.
How about that?
Ugh.
It's not going to change your mind at all.
No, not at all.
All right, so what I told him we're going to have him on. He's going to come on.
I'd rather him not root for anybody. Rather root for both teams to lose.
He's going to. Anyway, he says he's rooting for the Bruins now. He can't stand the Islanders. But hey, listen, it is what it is.
Doesn't change the fact that the Rangers suck. But hey, it is what it is.
Don't say a word.
Hey, I have no problem just continuing to put myself out there. It's all.
Yes,
it's
you definitely continue to do that, but that's fine. It's all good.
But no, a lot of exciting hockey coming up. Just cannot wait for Saturday to see the Bruins hopefully take another step forward towards a second Stanley Cup Finals appearance in 3 years, because the road is there. The road is there for sure.
Hey, Robbie, the way they're playing now, they really do. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to put myself out there just like you just did.
All right, go for it, Doug. Put yourself out there.
I'm putting myself out there. This team, and it's going to be tough. This team reminds me of 2011. And the reason it does is because they picked up a few guys at the trade deadline in 2011.
Yeah, that's right.
Who absolutely helped out.
That was what, Kelly?
Yeah.
Remember Chris Kelly, and now Horton was on the team the whole year, right?
Yes, I believe he was.
Okay.
Was it Peverley that was also the
kid
mid-season?
Was it Recchi, maybe? Didn't they pick up Recchi
late?
I
think they picked up Recchi late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, veteran. Other veterans, I'm telling you, they got the team that seems ready, that seems able, and they are working as a team now. They got Taylor Hall on the backside of Buffalo. Buffalo, who is what he said? Says he loves playing here. He even said in an interview, I saw the interview on Bleacher Report, he even said in an interview, he said, I didn't know how great it really was here until I started playing here. He loves it here. And it's obvious. Look the way he's playing. Like he's 22 years old, man.
Hey, you know what? I would love it if the price is right. I'd love it if they would bring him back for at least another year, maybe. There's
also a report that they are in the process. They don't want him to. Both sides do not want to think about that right now because they really want to concentrate on the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs, yeah, of course.
Yes.
I can imagine.
They want to concentrate on that, but the word on the street from the insiders to the Bruins is that they do want to bring him back, and they do want to bring him back long term. So, especially if he plays the way he's playing now.
I would do it all day.
I mean, it's totally opposite. Look at him at the first on Buffalo. When they first started playing this year, he was horrendous.
Yeah,
he couldn't even pick up the puck the right way. And now he's playing like he's, like it's the year he scored 60 goals, 50 goals.
I know.
He's just in a better place. It's obvious, and looking forward to the series a lot.
Absolutely. Can't wait. It's gonna be some more great hockey. And I'm so fired up for it. Like I said, just Saturday night cannot come soon enough. But we are gonna move on from something that fires me up to something
That makes you throw up.
yeah, pretty much. And that is
All right, that was
basketball and the Boston Celtics. And
we talk about the Boston Braves,
yeah, seriously.
Boston College Eagles basketball.
Hey, Boston College just announced that their men's basketball team is getting a brand new practice facility. So there's that.
Excellent. Maybe they'll actually win a game. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're right. When you're right, man. You're right.
I know it's a sore spot for you, but that's okay. We get it. We understand.
But speaking of sore subjects and what
I said speaking of trade wrecks.
So yeah, speaking of trade wrecks and sore subjects, we're actually, before we get into the Celtics, which is going to be a very brief conversation on the Celtics,
I think we already did.
We are going to start kind of a new segment tonight, one that we basically just decided on like 5 minutes before the start of the show, and it's called Ramp Mode.
Ramp mode, something like that. Rant.
Yeah.
Rant time.
I'm pretty sure you said I don't think ramp. Not ramp time.
Is it ramp?
Ramp time. Yes.
I'm mixing up some words tonight, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
I'm
fine. I'm really fine.
Delicate time.
Well, we're about to talk about the Celtics, so I'm getting a little,
hot under the collar. I hear you. It's all good. But we are going to start a new segment, which we call, rant time, rant mode. Basically, we're going to rant. And in this case, Doug is going to rant because there have been some issues that have arisen when it comes to the NBA and fans over the last couple of days. 2 in particular, Kyrie Irving, former Celtic, now current member of the Brooklyn Nets, who are playing the Celtics, made some comments the other day about how he is concerned and is hopeful that Boston fans treat him well in his return to Boston. Because again, this is the first time he's been back in Boston since joining Brooklyn with fans. I guess I should say.
Yes, he's been back in Boston, but there was no fans there. He was the one that brought that little
and like last year he was injured. He was injured when there were fans earlier in the season.
Yes, he was very badly injured at that time.
Yes.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But he made some comments about the city and about the perception of racism within the city, which apparently in the NBA there was a bit of a perception of Boston as a racist city. Now, hey, don't get me wrong, Boston has had their incidents of racism, like a lot of cities have.
A lot of big cities, yeah.
It's not unique, but at the same time, definitely was vocal at his thoughts about it, and also just his hope that Boston fans, treat him kindly, like I said, in his return tomorrow night. And then the other incident that occurred that is of note is Russell Westbrook during the Wizards-Sixers playoff game last night.
He actually got injured. He got injured, and this was an injury timeout.
He got hurt, was being taken to the locker room, and a fan decided it would be a good idea to dump some popcorn on Russell Westbrook as he was heading down the tunnel, and he was a tad bit upset about that, as you can see if you watch the replay of it.
I watched the replay. That was not a tad.
No,
I was very upset. They
you can tell I was
grabbed the
being a
guy though.
bit-
They grabbed.
you can tell I was being a bit facetious there.
Yeah, no, I know.
But the whole reason why I bring this up in the context of our new segment is I know Doug has some very strong opinions about these couple incidents and sort of as a whole here, so to speak. So for the inaugural edition of Rant Mode or Rant Time, or we'll iron out the name later. I want
I have a
to
rant about the name.
yeah, I want to give the floor over to Doug.
Whole floor, man. Not just parts of it.
Man, the whole floor, nothing but the floor. To sort of just speak his mind about what is going on with NBA fans. So Doug, take it away.
Unbelievable. So there was another incident too. The other incident was a spitting incident from a fan onto Trae Young. And that series, I believe that was in New York. I think they're playing New York.
Who, by the way, their fans after winning one playoff game just basically acted like they had won the NBA title.
NBA championship. Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The fans in New York are unique, I should say.
Well, it's the Knicks, who have basically been a doormat of the league for the past decades.
Yeah. Now they're in the playoffs, of course. Yeah, and they're not a bad team, but
not this year. No.
So there've been a couple of incidents, at least in the last few weeks, and I guess my rant time tonight is going to be spent on more on the fan part than the absolute stupid ass comments by Kyrie Irving, who, for some reason, this particular prima donna needs to start thinking about playing basketball and not about what's around him. Stop with the burning of bricks and leaves and rosemary and thyme and anything that he wants to do before the game, and walk around the court to take the evil spirits away. I don't really care about that as much as having different statements. The first statement that I guess really kind of pissed me off was the fact that he said, "Oh, I hope in front of all these fans, I hope you don't mind, but I'd like to come back." And everybody, "Yeah, we'd like you to come back, Kyrie." No, and it decided not to come back. Okay, so he also, and then again, it's some of its stuff is his belief, and I'm not going to knock on his beliefs about the fact that he doesn't think the world is round. I'd like to see him go to the edge of the earth and be able to fall over and not come back. I don't want him to pass away. I just don't want him to be around anymore, because I think he's nuts. He's crazy. Now, the other factor is that what he said is just inciting the fans more. And I don't understand why he doesn't understand this. The racism part also pisses me off, because we do have racism in this country. We have racism in the major cities in this country. If you talk to, all you got to talk to is Bill Russell, how he was brought up here in this town, how he was treated in this town. Cedric Maxwell is another one. And by the way, you got to listen to Maxwell's comments on what Kyrie said too, because he thinks Kyrie's a nut job, and it just doesn't make any sense that he didn't go to Philadelphia or anything in Philadelphia. He didn't hear anything in Atlanta. He didn't. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, there is racism in this country. Yes, it sucks and it needs to go away. That's part of my rant. The other part is that Kyrie needs to shut his mouth and play basketball. You get paid a lot of money, just play ball. Don't incite the fans, because that's all it's going to do. Do you see any hockey players talking about this stuff? No, because they go out and they play the freaking game. That's what they do. That's all you need to do. Go out and play a game. That's the first part. The second part of it is the stupid ass fans. These people, and again, the league is acting and the owners are acting the right way to these idiot fans. These idiot fans who actually the fan that threw the popcorn is not even a season ticket holder. Probably the first game he's ever gone to. Because he could have probably, you can afford it because the tickets aren't that bad right now, trying to get back into the facility. But the fact is that you do something stupid like that, you're gonna get kicked out for life. And is it worth it to do something like that? First of all, what did he do to you? Why are you doing this stuff? Every time you go to a sporting event, there's always gonna be that drunk, stupid ass fan that just does something stupid and he gets kicked out. And now he gets kicked out for life. They know who it is. They grab the guy, and now the guy cannot make it to any events, not just a basketball game, any events at all. In that facility, he is banned. He's gone. And that's exactly what we should do. But I want people to look, listen to Cedric Maxwell, YouTube Bill Russell. Things were worse back then. I think they're better, a little bit better today, a little bit better. Do they have to get a lot better? Yeah, they do. But you don't have to single out a city at all. And again, we've heard other players say this. I get it. We heard Cedric Maxwell say the same thing a long time ago. But he loves this city. He came back and worked for the Celtics. So my feeling on this whole thing is that just a few things. Kyrie, shut up and play basketball. Listen, you don't want to play? Stay in the freaking locker room. We don't care. We don't give a crap. You don't want to play because you're scared? You're scared about what fans are going to think? Scared about people saying stuff at you? Stay in the locker room. Don't play. Retire. Go away. We don't care. For the fans that want to dump popcorn and spit on players and do stupid ass things, go away. Don't come to the events. You don't deserve to be there. That's what I'm talking about, Robbie. That's my rant for the evening. That is my rant time. And I do suggest that you go and listen to Cedric Maxwell, his comments on the Kyrie thing, and listen to him talk about some other things. He actually says he actually got traded. This is part of what he said. And I love Cedric Maxwell. I think he's awesome. He was great for this town. He actually was the MVP of the championship. I believe it was 81. And just a tremendous basketball player, and played with Larry Bird for a little bit. Great basketball player and a great human being too. He said that he had more racism when he went out to LA to play for the Clippers than he did here in Boston.
Wow.
So that should tell you something too. So, Robbie, that's my rant for the evening. Thank you for letting me do that. I just had to get that off my chest.
Very good.
We move on. We move on.
We move on, and no, that was very much needed, and I applaud your sentiments for sure. Now on to the Boston Celtics, who currently trail the Brooklyn Nets 2-0 in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Again, Game 3 coming up. I really don't want to talk about this. I'm
Robbie's going to do a second rant tonight.
I'm just literally fighting through.
You're fighting it. You're fighting it.
Fighting to get through this segment because I am fed up with the 2020-21 Celtics. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything about them. They are sucking this series. They deserve to get swept. They're probably going to get swept, and that's it. That's it. We said last episode we would have more to say on how the series was going to go after the first couple of games. Guess what? They sucked. They're probably not going to win. Game 3 or 4 at home. Let's just begin the off season now and see what happens then. I'm not kidding. That's all I gotta say on the matter. Doug, I will turn it over to you because I know you are sort of our basketball guru.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Lend your insights here onto the series because I can't like it's just I'm so mentally frustrated and fatigued by this team that I think I've hit a wall with them. I'm done. I'm done. So
Robbie's totally done. I'm taking it
I'll
away.
talk to you about when it's time for baseball. I'll talk more. But
I'm gonna definitely the Red Sox segment is gonna be a lot better than the Celtics segment. Celtics segment is going to be very short. Brought to you by I Suck and I Lose. So what actually happens is the Celtics season is brought to you by XLax.
Brought to you by WeSuck.com.
Brought to you by XLax and Pepto-Bismol. So what it comes down to is that I have been feeling pretty sick every time I look at a game. As soon as Jaylen Brown went down, I said, okay, we're done with the season. Maybe Jaylen got hurt on purpose or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't see anything happening here. I'm extremely frustrated with what's going on. I think the players are pretty frustrated too. As we said before, a lot of dead wood on the team. It's interesting because in the rant segment, you got Danny Ainge also chiming in about what Kyrie said, and you got Marcus Smart saying what Kyrie said is true. So maybe Marcus Smart thinks that he's maybe out of this town or something like that. Who knows? That's the speculation, a little bit of speculating here and there, but who knows? I don't have any idea. All I know is that there's no way they're going to win the series. I don't think they're going to even win a game. The Nets are just too powerful. There was a report today. There's a report today that Jeff Green's going to be out for about 10 days. And I was like, okay, so everybody's like, okay, so why is that going to be a problem for the Nets if Jeff Green is out? Oh, we used to have Jeff Green about 25,000 years ago. And he's hurt for 10 days. I mean, he's going to be out for 10 days. How is that going to affect anything? So I think what it comes down to is, and we're gonna wrap it up, is that this is going to be a big goose egg. I guess I'm just super disappointed. But we'll just have to see. It's not like I won't watch the game. I might listen to it instead of watch it. It should be kind of interesting to see what Danny comes up with. If he comes up with if he's got any game plan or who will he go after. I think that's more of an exciting conversation, more of a conversation than the actual series itself. I think the series is over. Jason Tatum got hit in the eye and he's supposed to be back for the game. I think he should just rest, just stay out, pretend it's hurting and just stay out and just stay out for the rest of the series. Unless you're going to pad some stats, which you could probably do. But other than that, I'm just going to take some X-Lax and Pepto-Bismol and some kaopectate and some other things and try to settle my stomach. So we need.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only positive thing for Celtics fans over the next two games is that there will be fans inside the TD Garden
Yes.
for Celtics playoff basketball again.
Yes.
That's about the only positive thing that you can discuss when it comes to, this series shifting to Boston, because I think it's going to be over by Monday night.
Yes, I agree with that.
So, and we'll sort of touch on the Celtics more sort of post-mortem of them after the series, but I can't. I'm too frustrated to just continue even with, prognosticating on any off-season changes because I just so frustrating right now. So we are going to move on
Quickly
and rapidly here to the Boston Red Sox, who as of tonight are actually no longer in first place in the American League East. They actually trailed the red hot Tampa Bay Rays, who I think have won now like 13 of their last 14, something like that, by a game for first place in the AL East. Rays is playing red hot baseball right now, and the Red Sox have kind of sort of fallen into that. They take a couple steps forward, take a couple steps back, sort of up and down and up and down.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Really sort of into more of a 500 slog, as I'll call it, than the red hot baseball they were playing just a month or so ago. And so, Doug, I was curious to get your perspective on, because I know we kind of touched on this as well last time. When you look at the Red Sox recent stretch of play, which again has been basically consistently 500, as I was saying, what kind of phrasing, terminology would you use to describe the current play of the Boston Red Sox? Is it mediocrity? Is it inconsistency? A little bit of both? Where do you kind of stand on the sort of latest sort of stretch of Red Sox games here?
A little bit of Pepto-Bismol, but not as much as the Celtics. No, I think it's just inconsistency. I think it's just inconsistency. I think that's that's really what I would call it. It's just trying to figure out. It's almost. I don't think they're a bad team. I'm just trying to figure out what team that they are.
Series. The funny thing is they keep winning series. Like
they keep finding ways to win, which is great. But what I'm
with Atlanta, so it's not like they're losing all these series and stuff like that. They're winning series, but just like they have these like clunker games mixed in there as well, or games where they're up and then
exactly. That they have to have these weekend series where they play these two games in a row, like Friday and Saturday they'll play it, and it's like they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, they win 8-4, 7-3, both, two games. And then Sunday, for some reason, they're playing the same team. For some reason, Sunday they just can't seem to win the third game. It's just like they lose 8-0. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Did you waste all the runs in the last two games? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, for the Philly series, it seemed like Cora did kind of rest some of his everyday guys at that last.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And again, he's going to be doing that, and I get that.
Right,
he's going to be doing that, and I get that. I totally get that he's going to be doing that a little bit here and there, and I get that. But I could just there's only one word I can use is inconsistency. They're just really, really inconsistent now. They cannot seem to have a stretch of, 5 or 6 wins in a row, or they just can't seem to do that. But on the flip side of it, they seem to be coming up with these, I'll win 2 out of 3. They seem to be coming up with, when they have to win almost, they do win. But why can't they do this more consistently? I'm just trying to, guess I'm just trying to figure out, but that's the word I would use. What's the word you would use, since you're the baseball guru in this little talk here?
No,
What do you think is?
I agree with you. I think consistency is the right word to describe it. Again, I mean, it is kind of funny because, like I said, they keep winning or splitting these series. So it's not like, like I said, they're playing like below 500 baseball, but just like for every 2 steps forward, there's like a step back. It just doesn't seem to be that fire that they were playing with, just a month ago. I mean, they just sort of
Right.
seem to sort of cooled into this, like I said, sort of inconsistent stretch. And I think the big reason for it, I know I mentioned this, in previous episodes, is, first of all, the offense, has had some consistency issues. I mean, there's some games where they go off, for 8-10 runs, and other games where, they barely put a run on the board. If you're going to compete and you're going to be, successful, going further and further down the stretch here, you've got to be consistent offensively every single game and go out there and put runs on the board and, give yourselves a chance to win ball games. But also, I mean, you talk about the pitching, we've talked about the pitching staff and the struggles there, especially with the bullpen. Those are still there. You're still seeing it. I mean, you're still seeing guys. I know the Saturday night game against Philadelphia. I mean, they nearly gave that one away. Luckily, Barnes came in, sort of shut the door there in the final inning there. But I mean, they kind of had their backs up against the wall, what the bullpen did in those late innings against Philadelphia. Again, you gotta find a way to get guys out. I mean, I know it sounds simple, but you really do. I mean, you cannot keep putting the lead guys on. Then all of a sudden, before you know, you got first and second, nobody out in a 2-run ball game, and now one swing of the bat, and you'll be behind. I mean, it just, again, I sort of put in sort of the second part to our Red Sox conversation. What needs to change to get them back to the fire? You've got to have more consistent pitching, and you've got to have more consistent offense. Period. End of story. And I think we've talked about this in past episodes. Again, the offense can be, a top of the league offense when they're at their best, but they got to be at their best game after game after game. You cannot have these clunker games like I was just talking about. And then when it comes to the pitching, again, it's got to be better. I don't know what the magic formula is, but it's got to be better when you talk about the middle of that bullpen. Starters have not been doing badly. Matt Barnes obviously is doing very well, but it's that middle relief that gets you into trouble, and it just cannot continue to happen. If you want to truly be, a competitive team all the way through here and potentially, make it to the playoffs or even win the division, you got to find an answer, and I hope that they can find an answer. There's some guys that are starting to step up and actually perform up to their capabilities in the bullpen, but it's just, we go back to that word consistency. That's what's got to happen, just game in and game out. So that's really my sort of takeaways / thoughts on where they are right now and where they need to go to get more consistent, is those two aspects: offensively putting together more consistent games, and pitching staff wise also putting together more consistent games. So
what did you think? I wanted to ask you a question. What did you think about them optioning Frenchie Cordero down to the Woo Sox?
Good, get rid of him. I mean, send him, to Portland for all I matter. Skip AAA, send him down to AA. I mean, send him packing somewhere else for a bag of baseballs. For a bucket of baseballs for all I care. He's done nothing. What has he done since he's come here?
I know he's hitting 179.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't care about Frenchie Cordero. he's not going to be the savior to the 2021 Red Sox season. That's for sure. You know, just give me a break. I hope he stays down there the whole rest of the season. I don't care at this point if he ever comes back up to the big league club again this year. I mean, it's just forget him. Screw him. I don't know. What do you want me to say about Frederick Cordero? Other than the fact that he just, there's no place for him right now on this team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, he hasn't done anything, so might as well option him down and whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just, it makes total sense to me. You're not playing well, you're gonna be you're out. So it totally makes sense. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I just didn't know that you felt so angry about it.
I'm kind of doing my rant mode, like my rant time. I kind of kind of saving my rant for later on in the episode, I guess. But
all right.
I love the fact that I used it on Frenchie Cordero. Like
I just asked a question. I didn't think it was going to be a big of a deal, but I guess
I have nothing against the question. It's a valid question. That's my valid feelings on it. That's sort of that old saying, "Tell us how you really feel." Well, I'm telling you how I really feel.
You certainly are.
The guy should not set foot on a big league field again this season, as far as I'm concerned. But maybe he'll go down there and do something to prove me wrong. I don't know. Unlikely, but I don't know. You got anything else? Anything else on the Red Sox? Because
not really. I mean, when I listen to a game or watch a game, I'm enjoying it. I think they just need to be more consistent. That's
yeah, absolutely. No,
but I am enjoying watching them because I think
compared to last year. I mean, compared to last year, it's far above better than.
Last year I was taking sleeping pills and kaopectate and Pepto-Bismol.
The Red Sox really would just put you to sleep, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't need any sleeping aids at all. But they were churning my stomach a little bit. So, there was some, Pepto and kaopectate and.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, same here. But the last segment that we wanted to go to here, and again, this is sort of a brief one as we sort of begin to wind things down, is we did want to do a little Patriots talk because there have been some discussions. And again, we don't like, at least for me, I don't like to get too far bogged down into the rumor mill of things, but I did think this was kind of interesting and wanted to sort of get our takes on this. And that is the discussions and rumors about Julio Jones and the fact that he wants out of Atlanta. He said as much on his sort of appearance, if you want to call it that, on Undisputed with Shannon Sharp, who literally had him on his cell phone, and it's very debatable whether or not he actually knew he was on the air.
By the way, very, very illegal.
Well, yes,
not to tell somebody that they're on the air.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, there's that part of it, but just still, the comments nonetheless very interesting. Basically, he is done with the Falcons, and I hear there are more and more sort of heated rumblings about potential deals. What I heard, the latest report I heard was that something could come down as early as next week in terms of him being moved by the Falcons. So we'll have to sort of wait and see on that. But again, one of the teams that has been discussed for his services, and a team that he's actually expressed interest in going to, especially for one particular reason, is the New England Patriots. And so, Doug, well, I want to ask you sort of a two-part question here.
Well, I'm going to write them down. This is two parts.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, part one is, first of all, what is your reaction to the idea, the possibility, I should say, of Julio Jones becoming a Patriot? Do you think it's actually going to happen? And then part two is, what were your thoughts on his comment when it came to the Patriots that he really has a strong interest in playing with one Cam Newton, given that they played against each other all those years in the NFC South, and I guess he has developed a fondness for Cam Newton, which has now led to him, putting the Patriots sort of at the top of his list, so to speak. But to sort of your reaction to the rumors surrounding Julio Jones and the Patriots, and then just also reactions to those Cam Newton related comments as well.
Yeah, I love the I love the possibility. I still think he's got another 2 to 3 years. He is one of the top 5, if not top 10 wide receivers in the league right now.
Right.
I think that he is a tremendous talent. We do not have a number 1 receiver on the Patriots right now. So that's something that's I think is important. Especially with the retirement of Edelman. And I'm not saying he would take over the Edelman position, because the guy's like 6'3", and Edelman
He's more of a deep receiver. He's more of a
deep receiver, but we don't really have one. We don't have a deep receiver, somebody who could open up the field. We don't really have one. We could always make one. Again, Bill seems to like this tight end thing, which he's liked for the last 20 years. He's got 2 of the best tight ends pretty much in the league right now that we just secured on the team. So, and he just signed another tight end today. Like, what's up with the tight ends?
Oh, I didn't hear about this. Okay.
Yeah, just signed another. I'm trying to figure out whether it was one of the tight ends we got in the draft, or I don't think it was. But anyway, we can get back to that in a little bit. But I like the fact that there are thoughts about him. I love the fact that we're one of the teams that he wants to come to. There's some other factors about the Cam Newton thing. I don't have a problem with that at all. But he also has to realize that if he signs a contract, I mean, he may sign a 1-year contract. Oh, he's already paid. He's already being paid right now. It's going to be like $15 million, 15.4 or something like that. So it doesn't have to be a new contract necessarily, but if he wants to stay long term for the next 2 or 3 years, may have to kind of restructure a little bit. But I think him coming.
But it's really why Cam throwing him the deep balls when Cam, we documented the struggles he had throwing the ball last year.
Yes, but he also has gone through extensive thought process of what he's looked at video. He's looking at what he's supposed to be doing. And he's noticing that he's changed the way he's throwing. I just heard today that he's, still kind of throwing like he was throwing before. So he still has to work on that kind of situation. I like the fact that Julio wants to come here and play with Cam. I think that's great. But he also has to understand, Julio does, that if he does come here, that the possibility of our first round draft pick, picking up some slack for Cam if Cam's not doing well, may be there. And so he has to realize that. But I think that the possibilities of him coming are, I like it. The other factor is, and it's more of a question, I mean, would you give up a first round draft pick for him? Supposedly, the Falcons are mulling over some offers for his services, and 1 or 2 of the teams has a first round draft pick attached to it.
I would highly consider it for a receiver of that caliber. I would highly consider it. I'm
not sure if he's worth a first rounder, but Bill That would be Bill. Phil's his brother. It's Phil and Bill. Kind of like Al and Hal on Home Improvement. Anyway, that would be Bill Belichick, not his brother Phil Belichick, who doesn't even exist. But that's okay. I just made him up. So Bill doesn't even like first rounders.
No, but look
How many first rounders does he pick up?
Look how many he's given away over the years.
But you have to understand, what was the last wide receiver we got in the first round?
On
Was
Nikhil
it?
Harry.
And how did that turn out so far?
Not that great.
Pretty crappy.
Mm-hmm.
So would I give up a first rounder? Maybe a late first rounder. I mean, I don't think Bill's shy about giving up draft picks. What does he give? Crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. He got Brady in the 6th round. And what did Brady become? I mean, see, there you go. You got Nikhil Harry and you got Brady. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up when you're talking about, some first rounders that turn out to be crap. So you have a proven wide receiver who can help you out this year and possibly next year, possibly the year after, because of who he is and that kind of thing. He doesn't get hurt a lot. He was hurt last year, but it wasn't a knee or something that could be more of a chronic thing like Kemba has. So just like you said, out of his caliber, wouldn't you consider just throwing out a first round pick for next year? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares, especially if you're going to get somebody like Julio Jones that can help your team now. Unbelievable if he would have, if the Patriots would have pulled that off. Would I give him a couple of seconds? I probably would. Somebody's going to be out there, and I'm going to tell you this much: he's not going to Dallas. He's not going to an NFC team. Not going to. Atlanta won't do that. Atlanta won't send him anywhere like that.
True.
So, got to think about whether you want to throw that out there. I probably would, because you're getting that caliber of a wide receiver. Don't have anybody right now that can open up the field. I mean, Aguilar and Bourne. I don't even know Bourne. Don't even know who the heck he is. I know he's from San Francisco, but I never seen him play. So I have no idea. Aguilar obviously is more of an Edelman type because of his height and how he and how he's played. So that's all good. But we need somebody to fly down the field. And somebody who we know when it doesn't matter who throws up the ball, Julio's going to catch it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Watch him on YouTube, people. You'll see it. You'll see it. So I guess it's trying to figure out. I mean, in the betting ranks, we're at negative 175 or something like that. Like we're in the betting ranks, which I don't do a lot of, and I don't really understand that much anyway. It turns out that we're in the lead. If he wants to come and play with Cam, and of course we have some guys that are out there trying to bring him in, reel him in, trying to see where he plays. He wants to play for a contender. Want to play for a contender. So if he wants to play for a contender, why not the Patriots?
Absolutely. No,
I mean, that's my thought.
Yeah. No, I'm in complete agreement with you.
And it's better if they trade him after June 1st, and that's why they said sometime next week something may happen, because that's after this whole kind of cap thing changes a little bit. The money changes, so that's why they were thinking after June 1st. That's why he was offered. There was a team that offered Atlanta a 2nd-round pick at the draft for Julio Jones, and it was declined.
There you go.
So you wait around. You must wait around for it. If you wait around until after June 1st, you're getting a better deal. Atlanta's getting a better deal.
Right.
But,
and I think that's the thing. And it'll be interesting to see, where he does.
I would love, I mean, it's like a dream get. It would be a dream get. And the fact is that if we were to land Julio Jones, we basically just punched our ticket, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Not to win the Super Bowl. I didn't say that. I didn't end with that. I said punched our ticket in a way in which our defense is going to be. You just watched Judon, that guy from Minnesota. We haven't even talked about. We're not even talking about Patriots, but
No.
I'm just telling you, Bill went absolutely crazy. And he just went, I want him, I want him, I want him, and I want him. That's exactly what he did. And he had the boom, and he's still doing it. He's still picking up people.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be very interesting to see, where Julio Jones ends up. Could it be here? Quite possible. But the next, week or so definitely will bear that out. But what I do want to do is I do want to start to sort of wrap up tonight's episode, and as we always do to wrap up our episodes is we wrap it up with our final thoughts. And so Doug, let me kick it on over to you. Kicking it over. We're just talking about football. Good pun. No pun intended there. But why not? What is your final thought for episode number 85?
I'm trying to figure out. I had two, but I think one of them might be the one that you might be doing because we don't typically share what our final thoughts are. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Probably not. Probably not.
Let's put. Just want to ask you: does yours have to do with a professional team?
No.
Your final thought. It doesn't.
No.
Has nothing to do with professional stuff.
Nothing to do with professional stuff.
Okay, so I can do my two. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
First, I'll go from kind of a sad to a happy. So, the sad thing is, yesterday, if you ever were a kid in the world, and some people aren't, hopefully most people are, but you don't know. I know I was.
What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
I have no idea. You never know. Some people could be born, as adults. So
was it Benjamin Button? Like what the hell is that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Anyway, if you ever read this very, very popular book, it's called A Very Hungry Caterpillar. Very Hungry Caterpillar. I used to read to my daughter, and so did my wife, and we loved it. It was a great book. I was in the teaching industry, and I also read it to a whole bunch of kids, and they loved it. Awesome book. And a guy named Eric Carl was the one who wrote it. And unfortunately, Eric Carl, at 91 years old, died yesterday. So we at the Sports Blitz want to send him and his family our condolences. And let me tell you, very talented guy. And if you haven't read that book, even as an adult, you'll love that book. It's awesome. If you have kids out there, read it to your kids. Get it. Read it to your kids. It's awesome. It's great. It's fabulous. He's a terrific writer. And again, we at the Sports Blitz send our condolences to Eric Carl, who passed away at age 91 yesterday. My second, and on a more positive note, we have another retirement to talk about. And the retirement is Mr. Adam Vinatieri has decided to retire after 24 years. He spent 10 with the Patriots and 14 with the Colts. He has decided to retire this year. And if you haven't read Bill Belichick's statement, you got to read it. It's awesome. Bill or Phil. Phil/Phil. Bill doesn't talk like this often. So you want to hear glowing stuff coming out of Bill because it doesn't happen often, except when a player retires. You got to read this. It's really fabulous. YouTube. You got to YouTube Vinatieri. He has done so much for the league as not just a kicker, but as a human and that kind of thing. But just he's made so many. And let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to put myself out there right now, Robbie. First ballot Hall of Famer, absolutely. He has the pedigree. He's got the situational football stuff, big kicks in big games. Actually helped the Patriots win their first Super Bowl. Hello, by kicking a field goal. So
multiple field goals during that playoff run.
Yeah, and multiple, yes, definitely. The kick in the snow, you got to see the game against.
Two snowball kicks, yeah.
Yes, you got to see both. One of them, I have no idea how it got from his foot to the goalpost. I have no idea because it was snowing like a blizzard out. The wind was crazy. So, absolutely, us at the Sports Blitz, we congratulate Adam Vinatieri for a great career. Thank you for the 10 years. Memories are great, and we wish you the very best. And that's what I got. Bobby, what is your final thoughts for episode number 85 of the Sports Blitz?
Yeah, so I touched on, I think we kind of mentioned this kind of in passing, or I did earlier in the episode, but the Boston College men's basketball team was in the news today as it was announced that they're going to be building a new practice facility. I think it's like a $20 million practice facility, or like, I don't know, somewhere in that sort of 20.
Robbie was the one. Robbie was the one who gave the money. So Robbie, it would be the Robbie Johnson Coliseum.
If I had that money, I would definitely have given it, but I do not. But somebody did, and they did receive a very generous donation towards building the facility, and it's a very exciting and much needed news for the Boston College, both men's and women's basketball programs, but the men especially, because let's face it, the BC men's basketball program has had struggles over the past decade or so. Have just not been doing very well. So maybe hopefully this can actually make them more competitive for recruits, and thus make them more competitive both in the ACC and nationally, because when you have to practice in a volleyball gym, it just does not appeal well to recruits that come to visit your school. And obviously BC has been ranked for men's basketball, has been ranked consistently the worst in terms of facilities in the ACC, and it shows.
Rivers, man.
Yeah, seriously. Good for BC for finally moving ahead with this with this new facility, and hopefully it pays dividends for the program. So that's my final thought.
So Robbie, I just have one last thing to say before we head off.
Of
is
course.
That I do want to congratulate actually my daughter. She is a senior, and she just received an award this past week. It is
way to go, Alana.
Yeah, it's the 2021 Theater Performance Award in recognition of outstanding musicianship, leadership, and dedication in theater performance. And let me tell you, she picked up the award today, and I don't know if you guys can see this thing, but it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I can see.
It's like pretty intense. That it's not this little certificate, so it's just pretty nice. But I do want to congratulate her. And tomorrow is actually her last day of school.
Wow.
Before she graduates, I believe a week tomorrow.
Wow.
High school.
Congratulations to Alana for both the award and her impending graduation. Well deserved on all fronts. So
Absolutely.
congratulations. So yeah, that wraps up episode number 85 of the
Wrap
Sports.
it up. Oh, sorry.
Very much looking forward to episode number 86, where, you know, whenever that may be. Doug doesn't know this yet, but we are going to have to take next week off because I have a scheduling conflict, which I just broke news to both Doug and you all on air. But
Yet again. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Hey, you know what?
Robbie has to go to the dedication of the practice facility for PC because he gave the money.
Exactly. No,
But he's got to go next Thursday to do that, and then he's going to help build it.
Yeah, brick by brick, man.
Brick by brick, right?
No,
Get your hammer out, dude.
Very excited for episode number 86 coming down the pike here. Hey, listen, give us a view. Give us a listen. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Twitter. Like
we're on Snapface.
Like and subscribe. You know, click that bell, man.
Yeah, click the bell.
Click that bell. We always appreciate it.
We got some great things coming down the road here. New segments, new stuff, we're lining up some guests also for some new episodes. So we're very much looking forward to continuing what we're doing and adding on to it. So yeah, take a listen, watch us on YouTube, and hey, click that subscribe and hit the bell. Hit
that bell, man. But yeah, so until episode number 86, as always, that's Doug right there.
I'm Doug, by the way. And that's Robbie.
I'm Robbie.
Yeah.
And we're signing off here for episode number 85 of the Sports Blitz. And we will catch you next time, like I said, here on the Sports Blitz. See ya.